Hello and welcome to the UCI 2024 Cycling Esports World Championships powered by MyWhoosh. We're here for the women's semi-finals. Our finals in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. My name's Matt Payne. I'm here in the studio with
Emma Martin. And I am so excited to be here tonight, Matt, because, the start sheets in the women's race absolutely littered with national champions.
They are littered with incredibly talented riders, the best riders in the world, joining us here on MyWhoosh for what is going to be a really exciting set of races. And it's been a really great run-in. Been great to see so many people out and riding these stages, doing their preparation, watching everybody's social media. Really great to see just how riders have prepared for this. And of course, it's a sport with a history that's relatively recent amongst the UCI disciplines, which kicked off. We've had a number of world champions already, though.
We have indeed. So this is the fourth World Championship cycle for cycling esports. Back in 2020 was the first World Championships. Ashley Moolman-Pasio took the win then. Loza Geest from the Netherlands has taken the last two wins in the World Championships. But the start sheets tonight, and we are going to take a look at them in a short while, just one rider on the start sheets tonight who has podiumed in a previous World Championships, and that's the rider from the USA, Jackie Godby. She finished third, taking the bronze medal last year.
And can she move up? Can she step up into silver? Can she take away the World Championship? There's a lot of riders out there to take away titles. Now, because this is the World Championship, we've got riders from around the globe, from all over the world. And it may be that you're new to watching esports. So each of our riders represented by an avatar on the screen. Each of those riders' stats as they produce them, whether they're in their pain cave, whether they're live at the finals, whether they're in their garage, whether they're maybe outside in the great outdoors, who knows? But all of their stats then are taken and they are transferred across to their avatar. And we're going to see those on the screen. One of the great things is there's lots of data, which Emma likes.
I do love a bit of data, and we will be bringing you lots of stats and numbers throughout the programme, of course. The first number I'm going to give you, 106 starters today in the women's race from 26 nations, all taken to the start line in what is going to be a points-based competition tonight, with 7 opportunities for scoring points across 2 stages.
And riders from around the globe means we've got riders competing in lots of different time zones, so lots of different places. I know, Emma, lots of the riders in touch with you. And if anyone who's been in touch, thank you very, very much for messaging myself, Matt Payne, at Matt Fix Payne, and at Biking Emma. We really love to hear what you're up to. And if you are watching, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We're always up for answering questions on the racing as well.
Yeah, it is a global sport, cycling esports, and riders from across the world. Now, here, where we are in France, Central Europe, it's 7 p.m. in the evening. In Christchurch, New Zealand, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. So our riders all around the globe, and I have seen some social media from some of the women taking part today, 3:20 in the morning, I believe it is for them. So regardless of time, the riders are up and ready to race.
Well, let's take a look at the journey to those finals that will be in Abu Dhabi live.
On October 26, 2024 UCI Cycling Esports World Championship will kick off in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Up to 24 riders in each gender category will compete in the 2024 UCI Cycling Esports World Championship. The top 20 female and top 20 male riders from the semifinal will race the live final in Abu Dhabi, with the UCI having the option to accept up to 4 wildcard entries. Here's what you need to know about the event before it begins. The 2024 UCI Cycling Esports World Championship consists of 3 phases: qualifications, semifinals, and the finale in Abu Dhabi. Each national federation has allocated riders to compete in the semifinals from their vast pool of riders. Those who were not selected by their national federation or are not part of any federation had 3 chances to qualify for the semifinal through the MyWhoosh Open Qualifiers. The MyWhoosh Open Qualifiers were completed on August 3rd, 7th, and 10th. Combining the riders who qualified through the MyWhoosh Open Qualifiers With those who are nominated by their national federations, up to 150 riders in each gender category will come together to compete in the semi-final on September 6th. For the UCI Cycling Esports World Championship, MyWhoosh launched a brand new format: the Sprint, the Strategist, and All Out. The events are split into stages, with each race providing opportunities to grab points. The MyWhoosh Open Qualifiers, National Federation Qualifiers, and Semi-Final have featured a mix of these three courses, but the final will include them all back to back to back. For each gender, the top 20 riders from the semi-final will join up to 4 wildcard entries to compete at the finale of the 2024 UCI Cycling Esports World Championship in Abu Dhabi. Who will claim the championship title? Let's wait and watch.
So that's our journey to date so far. A cracking race journey that's taken our riders across from those qualifications, from the national qualifiers into the semi-finals. Now, Emma, we've got some great stages coming up in the worlds that have been generated, and we've got some great riders.
We have indeed. And who is going to Abu Dhabi? Because 20 of these riders will be joining any of those wildcards. 106 starters tonight, as I said, from 26 different countries. Sweden with 13 riders in the women's race, the nation with the most riders tonight. Then we have Australia, the USA and Germany with 7 riders on the start sheet. 6 riders for Canada, Colombia, France and the UK. And let's not forget those countries at the other end. 1 rider for Switzerland, a very strong rider indeed. Lithuania represented, as well as Brazil, Spain and Hong Kong. So it's really going to be fast and furious riding, because these women on this start sheet, well, they are absolutely phenomenal.
So let's take a look at where we're going to be heading for our riders, where they're going to be racing, and what they're up against in the very first of the 2 stages here today. So we are into the UCI world. This is a flyby of our course. This is a really lush world to go riding in, racing in it. Well, it's a whole different ball game, because we have our climbs on the way through that will test our riders, as well as a run through to that finishing line that will really test every skill in our riders' armory.
Well, it is all about skill and tactics today, because the Strategist is the first of the 2 stages the women will face. It's a 1-lap course of around 9 kilometres, and you can see there right in front of you, there's a 1.5 kilometre climb coming at the 2.1 kilometre mark. We said it's a points-based competition. There's 3 opportunities for points on this course. The first at the base of the climb, the second at the top of the climb, and finally at that finish line checkpoint. Now, the top 20 riders at each of those points will pick up points. The first base of the climb, 20 points down to 1. The top of the climb, 20 points down to 1. Double points, however, at the finish line, and that's going to be important.
So that's where our riders are heading. This is our riders' race start. Let's go racing. It's the semi-finals here on MyWhoosh at the UCI 2024 Cycling Esports World Championships. We are up and away. The riders sprinting out. We're in with Jem Riel at the moment. The rider that we're following, you can see a stats top center of the screen. The heart rate, the time elapsed, the watts. If you've not watched before, the watts in green indicating the draft. In white, they're in the wind. You can see the power, the pedal cadence. Left-hand side of your screen, you've got the radar view. This tells you where our riders are, each rider represented by a dot. Right-hand side of the screen, you can see the course profile, top right-hand side, and a very fast kick-out. This group all together at the moment as we head out from our race start into the first half a kilometre.
Zimmerman, Jaramillo, right up the front. Lucy Young, the South African rider, in there, as well as Gabby Nordin, Anna Embring, all wanting to stay right at the front of this race. In fact, it's one huge race field coming out of that start pen as the pack rolls really quickly, because it is a downhill start.
we start downhill. We've got then the kicker up. We drop down a little bit, and then we run into the midpoint climb. Now, the midpoint climb is over one of the ridges before we go into our finish. You can see this is going to be really, really key, holding the pace, which is absolutely ferocious at the moment. And you've got to work out where you're going to go for these points. You grab points now. You set that foundation. That strategy could be build a good foundation. Riders are already starting to be distanced by the pace at the moment. Riders starting to be distanced. You can see that on the left-hand side of your screen as discs start to get detached. Each of those discs are a rider losing contact or moving across that course, and those gaps opening. We're in with our bronze medalist from last year, looking secure in the race pack at the moment.
Yes, the pack now starting to split very, very clearly with still a huge leading group at the moment. Godby in there, Bergin is there, Field and Gagnon, the Canadian champion, in the mix as well. In fact, she's right at the front of the pack, not wanting to get caught out and wanting to pick up those early points. The first opportunity for points coming at 2.1 kilometres into this course.
So we're heading right into that marker at the moment. Michelle Gagnon at the moment, so you can see her in real life as well as the avatar on your screen, the comparison between the two. And this is what we love about esports. All the way around the world, wherever you are, you can jump on board, get riding, get racing. And at the moment, Gagnon sat in that pack now. Are we going to see an attack off the front? Are we going to see a move? Riders detached. You can see the marker. There is a small green arch on the radar. There's going to be a bigger green arch. We are coming into 200 meters to go. This is going to be for the points. Who's going to take the kick here? The lead out has gone. This is a big, big sprint.
Well, Kate Tridden is pushing on the front here. The rider from Australia, Anna Svanström and Lisa Hermansson, the two Swedish riders in front of her. In fact, it's Svanström and Hermansson who go through first. Tridden comes through for third place there and picks up those points. Tiffany Pennant from Canada looking like she's come through off of that pack for fourth. We'll have the results up very shortly, but that was fast and furious, and the pace continues to push because they are now onto the climb.
Straight into the climb. First checkpoint at the base of the climb. Go too hard there, you could be struggling when you get to the top. Let's look at those points allocation. Svanström from Hermansson and Tridden there with a 1, 2, 3. As Emma just said, Penn a bit following through. Snova, Field, Wagner, Tidholm, Bruni and Embry rounding out the top 10. As you can see, 20 points down to 11 for the top 10.
Really, really interesting. Some of those riders in the mix there really going out hard, going out early to pick up the first set of points today. In 11th place, Nordin picks up 10 points. Kolkowitz is there taking 9. McCarthy picks up 8. Morget picks up 7. Kuma, Young, Lundin, Dijhoven and Zimmerman. And then it is indeed the rider Jenny Eck with 1 point, rounding out those top 20.
So the top 20 bookended by Scandinavian riders. Svanström at the top with 20 points. But look now at the field. Look where she is in this race field as they come up. She's moving through the field, but currently sitting in 84th place. That big kick and push has scored the 20 points on the climb, though. Look at the damage that's being done. There are riders all over this mountainside now, and the split has opened up. Riders have to keep pushing, though.
Well, let's talk strategy here, because a number of these riders would have come really hard out of that start pen deliberately to pick up early points, possibly then saving themselves a little bit for stage 2, because 80 points, the maximum number of points available in stage 1 today. 100 points available on stage 2. You've got to save something.
Back to the front of the race. Are these riders going to have anything left when they've got to the top of the climb? We're about 50% of the way up the gradient at the moment, 7%. You see that top right-hand side of your screen as they keep on pushing. Got beat here with Korchinski, the rider who has taken a hill climb record after hill climb record in the United States of America, alongside Catherine Fua. Fua pushing really hard here. McCarthy, Soderstrom, Bruni, Bates right up in the mix as well. We're in with Catherine Fua, one of the big favourites when it comes to the finals, when it comes to these semi-finals, and at the moment right in the mix. Did a lot of work doing climbing training, done some more work recently to work on that quick kick, that big power. And with 500 meters to go, this group of riders are starting to detach themselves from the group behind. I think it's 6 riders, Emma.
Oh, counts Lou Bates in there, the GB rider as well. Just 1 second back, looking like she's going to close the gap. An interesting comparison to Kolchinski, because Matt, she set a huge number of hill climb records in the UK as well.
So the ability to climb, to put that power down, to give that explosive burst, really, really critical. You can see the Great Britain jersey chasing the Swedish jersey here. That's Bates chasing Soderstrom. A little bit further back down, right-hand side of your screen, you can see that train of riders going up with Gagnon, the rider that we saw earlier, currently sitting in 24th place. Engström from Sweden, 21st. You can see the strong contingent in here from Scandinavia, Finland's Mina Koivunen working well as well. Right-hand side street, the left-hand side though, Mil Bruni now on the front, tapping a great pace up this climb.
Well, Fua, Bruni, Bates, Kolczynski, Godby, McCarthy, all in the mix here. Mika Soderstrom now dropping to the back of the group, but it's looking like it's 7 riders, and Lou Bates kicks. Lou Bates has kicked towards the top of the climb. She's gone at 8 watts per kilo. Bates pushing on here. She wants maximum points, and she's 2-second gap now back to Bruni. That's the polka dot banner signifying the top of the climb and those points. And Bates is moving well.
Bates has gone. Can she keep the pace on? The chasers come from Bruni, from Soderstrom, from Fua, from Godby, McCarthy being distance, Kolczynski being the distance a little bit by this increasing kick, this power, this big spike here. Bates has gone hard. Great racing by Bates here. Goes over the top. She's going to score maximum points at the top of the climb. Now, decision time. Do you push? Do you continue? Do you hold? Do you get a regroup? What do you do here? Who do you want in that leading group? How many riders do you need to go into that finish? Going to be absolutely critical. At the moment, that gap has gone. The leaders are clear, but remember, top 20 riders to go through. So those points and positions at the end of this stage, you want to be in that top 20.
Well, and I think it's going to be very, very competitive. It's looking like we've got 7 riders going clear. Those 7 riders could reform into a group and come in towards the finish together. But look at this. This is just packed with riders strung out on this climb at the moment. Van Shaw, Larsen, Giovanni, Kolkowitz, Nevin, Van Hove, all still climbing and heading towards that polka dot banner. The top 20 going underneath that banner first, picking up points. And well, let's take a look at who picks up points at that climb checkpoint.
So Bates in 1, Soderstrom in 2, Bruni in 3, 20, 19 and 18 points. Then Fua, McCarthy, followed by Kolczynski, Godby, Guerra, Holcroft and Dijkhoven go through inside the top 10. Great Britain, Sweden, Germany, Switzerland, the top 4 riders through. The riders with big numbers in there, well, that is the United States of America. They have 2 riders in the mix. So do Great Britain. Holcroft in there with Bates, Kolczynski in there with Godby. However, this is going to come down to what happens after. These are the riders from 11 down to 20, still scoring points, which could be critical when we move on to stage 2. Remember, this 8.9 kilometers of 1 lap of 1 course. Stage 2 is going to be very different indeed.
It is as well. Now it's looking like we have our leading group. 6 riders in the leading group. McCarthy, Bruni, Kolczynski, Bates, Soderstrom and Fua, your leading 6 riders in the race. It's looking like they've got 6 seconds on Gabi Guerra, the rider from Brazil. She is doing the chasing, but in a strong position to pick up places and pick up points.
And in some ways, if you're on your own behind this leading group, you are in that position where you can sit in time trial, sit at your own pace and be very, very smart about that. That's going to be really, really key. Whereas if you're in a group, you're always going to be thinking about battling for those points. 1 more point up, 1 more point down. The leaders are going to come into the rolling, bumpy section in towards the end of the course, because we're at 6K for our leaders. A little bit further back, just in with Zara Hussein, Elena Lopez immediately behind. Svartstrom, our early leader, in there as well. Zimmerman just in front. Catherine Montoya just up the road as well. And it looks like Hussein also up there. Real big mix of riders, a big pack. And the riders at the moment who are in this group, if they score points early, they're not out of it yet, because, as you said, Emma, a lot of points coming up later on in the race in stage 2.
They are indeed. And points, well, it is the overall points from 7 different checkpoints that combine to give us our overall top 20 on that points leaderboard, who will go through to our finals in Abu Dhabi. And let's not forget, Matt, all of these riders representing their country and have qualified to represent their country here today.
And in with Zara Hussain, you can see she's really pushing as it comes up over the top of the climb in the United Arab Emirates there, right in the Abu Dhabi Cycling Club, a familiar venue to those people watching the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. But we're going to go back down to the chase here. This is Gabby Guerra really pushing on hard here. Gubby's at 3 seconds, Holcroft at 4 behind, really laying down the power as we go up and over this bridge. The bridge really steep here. Every single percentage counts. She's got to try and get back and also stay clear simultaneously.
She has, and she's got to ride really smart. This is about picking up enough points to qualify. You don't necessarily have to win the race. It's the qualification that counts, and you've got to still be strong on stage 2. So Guerra now pushing on. The fans are going because she is working so hard. She's 6 seconds down the road from Fua in 6th, who has been distanced by that leading group. So the leading group now distanced Catherine Fua, Maria Holdcroft. In fact, Gabby Guerra pretty much slap bang between Catherine Fua and Maria Holdcroft, the Swiss rider and the GB rider, the rider from Brazil, doing a fantastic job of really trying to cement a qualification place today.
Well, let's see how many points she picks up on this stage number 1 of 2 of our semi-finals, the UCI 2024 Cycling Esports World Championships, coming to you live here on MyWhoosh. MyWhoosh, of course, the UCI partner for 2024, 25 and 26. We're going to see who's going to take away the lead as they come in. We're at 7.6k. Remember, this stage is 8.9k long. A little bit further back, this is our next really big chasing group coming in here. And you can see how Zhang at the moment really focused, so strong in the qualifiers coming through. I think it was public qualifier that she came in through, if I remember correctly, and absolutely flying in a really good group here. Emma Belforth, who's been riding very strongly, chasing. They're trying to close down on Maria Holcroft and Jacqueline Gubby. This group are chasing for a top 10 position.
Yeah, the Hao Zhang, the Chinese rider, riding really, really strongly today. And we saw her ride phenomenally well and really strongly in those open public qualifiers. At the front of this race, McCarthy, Soderstrom, Bruni, Kolczynski and Bates. It's a leading group of 5 riders. There is Merle Bruni. We can see her on our screen on the right-hand side and the left at the moment, comfortably sat in second place on Kristen Kolczynski's wheel. This group of 5 now really starting to move towards the last stages of the race, around 700 meters to go.
So here we go. This is going to be absolutely critical. We are coming into the last few hundred meters. We've gone past the 500 meter mark. We're down to the 400. It's ticking away. The archway, the finish line is a double point score. This is going to be absolutely critical as we come in. We're now at 400 meters, and now comes the kick. 300 meters, 200 meters to go.
It is indeed 200 meters to go, and it's McCarthy, Bruni, Bates, Kolczynski and Soderstrom. They are absolutely pushing on at the moment. That's the 100 meter mark.
Here we go. This is the run for the line. Mika Soderstrom, can she make her way in? Take away the victory here. Take away maximum points. 11 watts per kilo. She's really going for this. They're coming behind her. They're not going to make it. It's going to be Mika Soderstrom takes victory in stage number 1 of the UCI 2024 Cycling Esports World Championships semi-finals.
Well, that is a rider on form at the moment. Soderstrom, the national champion of Sweden. She was 6th in the World Championships last year, and she's obviously on form this year as well. Catherine Fua coming over the line for 6th place. Guerra not far behind. Holdcroft coming in fast for 8th place from GB. Mina Koinstinen putting in a great performance, but take a look at this, fast and furious over the line.
Really coming in very quickly indeed, this short stage. And you can see the rider that we're following, Roberta Bissoni, at the moment. She's going to come across the line. 8 points scored previously on stage 2. They'll be added to the total of the points she's got now. That will then move her up and through the standings. And you can see all these riders keeping on pushing. The red chevrons on the right-hand side of your screen indicating how deep the rider is digging. 10.3 watts per kilo kick here from Sweden's Marlene Bjarhed. Comes in just ahead of France's Giuseppe Megan at the moment. But look at this. This is absolutely frantic run for the line here. The riders want to know that they're going to score points, but it's double points. It doesn't extend how far they go. This is going to be really, really critical here for the riders. They're in, they're through. We've got our top 20 riders home on that finishing line. What a race.
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. Marlene Bjarhed, she wanted those points. Take us through the overall standings, Matt.
So Mel Bruni taking away a top spot on stage number 1 from Mika Soderstrom. The culmination of all those checkpoints on the way round that stage, resulting in Bruni taking away 68 points. That is a 9-point gap to Soderstrom in second place. Only 1 point second from third place, and only 3 points from second to fourth. 2 riders tied in 5th and 6th place here, Korchinski and Fua. That battle continues. Anybody who's watched the racing through the season will know that has been an ever-evolving battle. Tied on points, the riders from Switzerland and the United States. Behind Gabby Guerra, really benefiting from that chase. 41 points in 7th place. Maria Holcroft at 38. 2 points clear of the rider in 9th, Steyerhoven. And then you've got the defending medalist. Now, one medalist in here. That's Gobby, currently sitting inside the top 10. She's going to need to move up in the next stage if she wants to take victory, but top 20 is key here.
It is indeed. Amina Koinstinen coming into 11th place overall on stage 1. The Chinese rider Zhang coming through for 12th. Paul, the Turkish rider, in there as well. Emma Belforth in 14th. Cornelia Engström in 15th. Both of the Swedish riders riding really strongly. Roberta Pisoni, 16th. Carolina Kolkowitz, 17th. Marlene Bjarhed, well, that push at the end really paid off because she's now lying in 18th place overall. Giuseppin finishing with 4 points in 19th place. And Wiseman, she has 3 points in 20th. This is really close still.
And because the top 20 have 3 points in there, that's going to make it really close behind as they chase on. So that is stage 1 done and dusted. This is going to be really, really key for our riders. So our riders in stage 1 coming in and through. Your top 20 you've just seen on your screen there. Fantastic racing from our riders in stage 1. We are going to now get the riders to reset themselves. They're going to go in for stage number 2. Now, Emma, a fantastic race. Everybody wanted points on the initial kick for the line. We saw everybody really pushing that. And I think when we look at the top 10 here, some of these riders here really did hold back just that little bit enough. 10 riders in the top 10 here that, yes, they scored points, but people like Guerra scored the really big points on her chase in there. Really good move by her. Is there anybody in there you didn't expect to be inside that top 10?
Well, I think a large number of our viewers will have expected these riders to be well and truly up here. Really interesting to see Mel Bruni going so strongly. Really, really good to see her right on the top. But one of the things that I suppose I am, but I'm not so surprised about as well, is how close the points are after stage 1, right all the way through this top 20. I'm also surprised about how few points have got riders into the top 20 at the moment.
Well, we look at the points here. I mean, we've got 36 points separating 10th to 1st. But when we get down into the top 20, and we now have those points updated completely, you look at that 15 points rolling you into the side of the top 20 here, confirmed at the end of that. Remember, all the results here are live. So if you are watching this live, this is live. This is as it happens. All the results are subject to verification. But at the moment, that is really, really close, particularly around the 15, 16 down to 20. Now, Emma, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the scoreboard below the top 20. How close is it behind? Is there a group chasing hard here that could push in?
Well, that is a really good question, and I am just having
I like asking
look.
you awkward questions. You know I do.
Well, all I can tell you is it's exceptionally close because in 26th place is Gabby Nordin, 10 points. So you can take a look at that, and we are pretty much looking at a 10-point gap between 26th and 14th. So when you think that the riders have got 4 more opportunities to score points, the stage 2 is a 4-lap race. It is going to be really, really important where our riders finish. Not just those riders who are at the front of that standings, but the riders right the way down, and those outside of the top 20 are not out of it yet.
And you said in the coverage that Mel Bruni was looking comfortable in the wheels. Now, I nearly pulled you up on that at the time, but I'm going to do it now instead. Comfortable at race pace is not the sort of thing you say. I mean, she's looking cool, calm, and collected there in the German national jersey. But I have to say, you probably might be correct there, because she's come away with top points at 68 points, looking very, 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 very comfortable. Like, she's got a game plan. She's a really experienced racer on MyWhoosh as well. She's a rider we see week in, week out on the Sunday Race Club, the premium race series on MyWhoosh. Very much a rider who we thought would be up there. I'm not sure I had her down for taking away the lead at the end of stage one.
I think all of those riders on that start sheet and in that start pen had a plan tonight. They all went out to execute the plan that they had, all based on their own strengths and their own abilities, to get the best result they could. And Bruni, I'm not surprised she's up there. Mika Soderstrom, phenomenal racing as well, and look at that, just pedaling on the bike there, calming down, bringing her heart rate down, getting ready to go again. A great ride from the Swedish rider as well. And a large number of her Swedish teammates as well, putting in phenomenal rides. Now, 13 riders in this women's race from Sweden, and I bet they've been having conversations together to really work out how they ride really strongly.
And I think having conversations right now, you can see the phone there on the go already. And we're just taking a look up, actually, at the screen above. And you can see there the stats, 329 watts average. All these numbers are averaged through the course of the stage. So 178 beats per minute, the average, 14 minutes, 14 seconds, 0.460, and 4.985 watts per kilo. Now, that's the average for the stage. And we saw on the stage, we got the climb in there. We got the sprint for the line, the checkpoint. That's really going to mean there's going to be some variety in there as well. But warming down and then warming back up is difficult, because the time frame's quite short between stage one and stage two. But equally, you can't stay on your limit all that time.
No, and this is about recovery. This is a period of recovery, and our riders will be really used to doing interval-based training where they put in a really hard effort, they recover, and then they go again. And that's exactly what they're doing in this racing stage with these two different stages. They will have trained for this, they will be ready for this, and they will know exactly what they're doing.
I know a number of the riders have been in touch with you and with me, and it's great. Thank you very much, everybody, to share what their plans were. We won't give them away, don't worry, live on the show. However, I think it's become fairly obvious what some people's plan was. It was to go hard for the very first sprint, and yet there's a lot of riders, I think, who've benefited from waiting. Mary-Kate McCarthy, great ride for her. The iconic black and silver there of New Zealand. I mean, it's a jersey we see regularly. We have the pleasure of commentating on World Championships, from mountain bike to track to road to indoor cycling to para. And it's such an iconic jersey. The pride in wearing that jersey must be immense.
Well, and she's a rider who is getting stronger and stronger at the moment, and her form over the last 2 months has just been getting better and better. She really has targeted this event, and she is really showing us. And did you just take a notice about how pitch dark it is outside of her window? Well, we talked right at the beginning of the show about the fact that these riders are riding completely around the globe, completely in different time zones. If it's midday where you are, I can guarantee it's not midday at the moment in New Zealand.
No, unless there's been a solar eclipse or something of similar magnitude happen. Riders out and around the globe. And when you're racing for your nation, I guess it doesn't matter whether it's night or day. That pride is there. We've seen that a lot on the social media from the riders. And if you are watching, do follow the riders on social media. Some really great insights in there. Now, Lou Bates, a rider very much fancied for this. There's a lot of people who've got it down as a favourite here.
Well, I think you're correct. And it very much, for me, is about that climbing ability and the repeatability of those efforts. And we've seen Lou Bates do that time and time again. We've seen some of the other riders do that time and time again. So this is going to be a very, very competitive front end of this race. And I think once we get those top 20 riders to Abu Dhabi for the final, it is going to be a very competitive finale. But they've got to get there.
They have. Now, just taking a note of the numbers there, Lou Bates is not leading. She had a lower average watts per kilo than our leader. Now, that is an indicator that she's been riding smart, as we would describe it generally on Esports. Hiding, using the draft, being careful about when you're riding on the front. It doesn't mean that somebody who isn't smart isn't riding to their plan or setting the pace or maybe riding to the best way that they find it, but that drafting, that ability to save energy could come in handy as we move through the stage into stage 2.
And as we said, the riders will have different plans. Some of them will go out to pick up the maximum number of points they can on stage 1. Others will be wanting to be there or thereabouts on stage 1 and pick up a good number of points because stage 2 is their target. And I think we're going to see different strategies play out when we move into the second stage of this race today for these women.
And that's going to move us from the strategist across into the all-out. One rider that we know always goes all-out is Catherine Fua, a fearsome competitor, and sitting in 6th place. I think there or thereabouts, 47 points to our leader's 68. That's a serious deficit if we just have one checkpoint, but we don't. There's still plenty of points left at stake. Catherine Fua, a rider who has been relatively dominant in the races. She's a rider we know can excel on esports, a rider who we know can target a race and a particular style of racing.
Well, time and time again, she's done it. She's shown us that she is absolute class. She looks quite happy there to me. She's given us a little wave, but 6th place, I think she'll be happy with that at the moment. And she'll be really thinking about the long game here and about how she secures herself that place in that top 20.
And a rider who, I mean, to coin the name from the very first stage, is a really good strategist. She rides to her strengths. So, and it's that old adage, isn't it? You train your weaknesses and you race your strengths. At the moment, I'm not sure really who we would be saying is racing to their strengths more, because she's got so many, but there are chinks in people's armour, and that's out there. Now, when we look at the riders maybe a little bit further down, Emma, I know you just able to have a little scroll through those results. Is there any further down in that screen, when we start looking down there, anybody particularly that you think maybe would have wanted to get a little bit more out of stage 1?
Well, I think there'll be riders who are really pleased with where they are at the moment. Mina Coinston nicely sat in 11th place. That's really good. Really great placing. The Chinese rider, Hao Zhang, brilliant riding and racing from her. You know, I've been really impressed with her over the last few weeks when I've been watching her race and her ride. So I'm not surprised at all. And I think she'll go really well in stage 2. Lisa Hermansson and Anna Svalström, who picked up those points early on. Great strategy from those 2 Swedish riders, because those 2 sets of points at the base of the climb have really stood them in good stead and have secured them in the top 20 at the moment. They got to pick up points on stage 2 to stay there, but great early tactics from them. Emma Belforth there as well, and we know she's strong. She's a mountain biker when she races outdoors, but we've seen her perform phenomenally well as well indoors. So for me, this really is still a wide open race for this top 20.
And we're just watching Alexei Snover here from the United States of America. I've just come back from the World Championship mountain bikes in Andorra, and the United States riders, they're talking very much about how they really enjoy the team relay and working as a team together. Do you think that's going to transfer across into esports here, where we've got riders, you know, they're across the country. They're not in the same venue at the moment, but that communication is key. Do you think that same team spirit applies when you're racing for the nation, or America going to be bringing that to the championships?
Yes, that team spirit does indeed exist in esports as well. The community, the group, the development, absolutely phenomenal. And let's not forget, these women are racing for their nations today. Normally, they race for their team, and on those teams, a mix of nations all come together. So they will know the strengths. Their teammates will be racing for their nations, and they'll be in competition with each other now. But when they go back to race for their teams, they'll all be back in the mix. Now, interesting to note, Matt, we talked about Alexei Snover there in 21st place at the moment overall, on the same points as Engström in 19th, Bassoni in 20th. So technically, we could say they are all equal 19th.
Oh, I love it when you say something utterly controversial, but it's not really. No, all these riders are in there, and the rule sets are there. You can get hold of those from MyWhoosh.com. Now, in with Marlene Bjarhed at the moment, sitting in 28th, 8 points at the moment. Plenty more points to go out, and another regular rider on MyWhoosh, another regular rider on the Sunday race. A regular rider who we know can pull something special out, and she's going to need to do that to move up here. If you were Marlin, what would your tactic be here when we come to the next race?
Well, I think it's about how you are feeling right now and how your training has been going, and how you are planning to execute. You know, that first lap, I think we're going to see riders really go hard on that first lap to try and pick up points, thinking that they're not going to be part and parcel of the final selection on that race. But that first lap, I think we're going to see a very different group of riders come to the fore than those who will be there at the end. Now, I've just had a little quick count up. I think we've still got 10 of the 13 Swedish riders in contention at the moment. At least 10 of those Swedish racers picked up points in stage 1.
Okay, so you're counting in contention. Basically, you've got to have picked up points.
Yes.
And if you haven't picked up points, are you definitely?
Well,
I
don't think
you're
you're
definitely out
out
of that. You could have almost sat out that race, and then absolutely go banzai and blitz everybody in the last stage. That's going to be really,
I
really
have
good.
to say that would be a really, really interesting
Risky.
race strategy.
Don't get me wrong, but I
Well,
quite like the idea.
I don't know. It's like all in or all out, isn't it? And
Yeah.
if you're all out on stage 1 to be all in on stage 2, there are the points there to pick up, and those big points are available. And do you know what? We did see some riders do that strategy and execute that strategy in the public qualifiers. So why not in the semi-finals?
Risk, reward, and lots of risk, and lots more risk. I'm not a gambler, but I think even if I was, I think that is a brave gambler. Now, one very aggressive rider who's got a great performance in here, 15th, 19 points, Lisa Hermansen, a rider who we've seen also coaching on MyWhoosh. So, you know, maybe it's something you want to do. You can jump on board, of course, and make sure you go with the live coaching, something that I know Emma is busy doing as well. And it could be really interesting to see if riders take the tactics. Now, maybe you've been talking to coaches. We've seen people in the background in the shots of the riders, and having somebody there sometimes, that is a really stabilizing influence on the way through.
Hermansen, you know, that early strategy going out hard is paying off. Is she going to do it again?
Well, we're going to see. We're going to head over to stage 2. So here at the UCI 2024 Cycling Esports World Championships, this is the semi-finals. The finals in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. It's powered by MyWhoosh. MyWhoosh is the UCI partner for 2024, 25 and 26. We're moving on to stage 2 of 2 in our semi-finals, and this is our flyby around the stage. A super short circuit here that will test the riders each and every single lap. The start-finish line is particularly nastily placed. I have to say, well done, Matt Smithson, for making this particularly hard.
Well, this second stage, this course, 4 kilometres in length, but 4 times around. So 4 laps of this 4-kilometre course. This stage is 16 kilometres in total. And that climb coming at 3.5 kilometres, the finale of each lap, hitting a gradient of around 12%. So in terms of points, 4 opportunities for points today on the all-out course at the end of each lap. So lap 1, the top 20 will get 20, 19, 18 down to 1 point. The same on lap 2. Lap 3, they go again. And on lap 4, the final lap, it is double points again, giving a total maximum of 100 points being available on this stage to add to the points from stage 1 to give us the cumulative top 20 on the points leaderboard that will go through to our finals in Abu Dhabi.
And this course profile, we start with the downhill, so you've got to be quick off the gun. You've got that long drag, you've got the mid point in the way through. We do regularly see it split in there in our qualifiers, or what's going to happen as we head out on stage 2.
Well, we're in with Joanna Kalman down on that start line. The pack ready to roll. 10 seconds. Prado, Wagner, Tompkinson, Penner, Tridden are all in there. And away go the women. This is the final stage. This is stage 2 of the 2024 Cycling Esports World Championship semi-final. And Ultramarino, the rider from the Philippines, leading the charge out of the pen. Marcel Smiths and Kate Tridden, the two riders, pushing on and paying close attention. It's a fast start here on stage 2.
Really key here to be in position, to be in this pack and not lose touch. Getting that start critical. Good start there by Angelica Altamirano from the Philippines. As Emma said, leading them down here, but the whole pack sitting in close attendance. There's nothing to separate these riders at the moment. It's going hard here. Into this first climb could be key, though, because it is steep, this mid-climb, isn't it? We're in with German Prado, a rider who we know knows how to race, how to win, how to take national titles.
She does, and these climbs on these courses really are a mix of suiting sprinters and suiting climbers, and that's why this makes this so exciting.
And that kick to the finish, absolutely brutal. Now, the riders are going to get basically a set of rehearsals before that finish and the extra points at that finishing line. This is lap 1 of 4, 1K into the course at the moment, 16K in total. We're in with German Prado, left-hand side of your screen. In that Philippines jersey, you can see the fan going, trying to keep the temperature down, trying to keep cool, at the same time working hard and being able to focus on the racing. I think sometimes it's almost harder when you're in a familiar home environment or in a familiar gym or garage or pain cave.
Well, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because if you were out on the road, you'd be with your team, you'd be with the squad, you'd be talking and able to bounce ideas off each other. These riders are on their own racing at the moment, but Prado, multi-time national champion of the Philippines, part and parcel of this pack. Jenny Eck a little bit further up the field at the moment as we see them push 7.5%, 7.7% at the moment, as this field now starts to stretch. That bottom left-hand corner graphic really giving you a great view of what is going on with the pack.
Will there be a split? Will there be a gap open up? Can they force a gap away? If you can take a group clear here on lap 1, you could well be that you're going to be staying away and hoovering up points all the way into the finishing line. Going to be a great tactic here at the moment. Mil Brennan in close attendance, as is going to be right on the wheels here. Guerra sitting in the mix. Cassani of Lithuania right up at the front here. I'm just taking a little run through all of the jerseys there. Most of the nation's well represented, but we have got a gap starting to open a little bit further back.
Well, Jenny Eck here on our screen. She's currently in 28th position, part and parcel of that leading group. But there's some names in here, Matt, who were not at the front of that stage 1. So really starting to come to the fore of stage 2. So Jenny Eck in here, Molly Weston in here as well. Really good to see Joanna Kalman, Mina Koinstinen in the mix. Hao Zhang, the Chinese rider, still up at the front. Sanne Svensson too, German Prado a little bit further back. The rotation within this group really strong at the moment as they come down on this descent towards that final, towards the finish line.
As they come down, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, the groups are breaking apart. We are seeing split after split after split. Get caught on the wrong side of the split, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have to regroup and work hard to close those gaps down. You can just see Julia Walkenhurst on the right-hand side of your screen chasing. Got a lot of ground to make up. We'll need to make a way back in. Another of the regular riders up against Monica Ronan. Really interested to see the left-hand side of your screen. No, this is the run in towards line 2.8K at the moment covered. And I'll tell you something, that is a big group, and it's reforming a little bit.
Yeah, it is indeed. That early split now starting to reform. But Julia Walkenhurst, the rider from Germany, obviously very happy to be in the semi-finals today. The riders towards the front of the race, though, now starting to come in. But take a look at this shot up the road. You can see the multiple groups starting to form.
In front, having those groups, having that draft, that ability to jump from one group to another, maybe to come together to form a bigger chasing group. The main leading pack are not completely outside on the longer straights. They're going to be inside. They're going to be visible. The rider's able to check those time gaps on the right-hand side of the screen, just like we can. But as we go in towards the climb, the leaders are not far off hitting that. This is a nasty little kicker. It is a real mix. It's designed to test sprinters, climbers, every single lap. everybody right on the border, and it looks to me like Molly Weston's waiting for nobody here. She doesn't want to leave it to anybody else. Big kick coming in from her to take her clear. She's now got to make this count. She's got a gap. It's in there. You can see the distance, but they're coming behind Maya Heisel at the moment, trying to close her down the gap with Tridin and Bates in there. McCarthy, Hermansen, Eck chasing and pulling that group back. Weston now reabsorbed in the group. This is going to be a real fight for points. Remember, points at the top. That banner is coming. 200 metres to go.
Well, phenomenal charge from Molly Weston from New Zealand, but it's now Lou Bates who's back at the front of this race. Asulia Kasani, the Lithuanian rider, coming through. Great show from her. Alexi Snova. Now, we said she was lying just outside of the top 20. She's going to pick up points now. That's going to move her through. Jenny Eck is there. Catherine Fuhr. Lisa Hermansen doing a cracking job on lap 1 again. Jenny Eck is there too. Now, Lou Bates and Alexi Snova side by side as they go under the banner. It's going to be Bates picking up maximum points on lap 1.
The group's compressing, coming together as you go up that climb. You see a long train of riders. So the group's splitting a little bit, but the group's then coming together. The leaders in one pack joining the back of another pack. But as you go over the top, it's going to open up, and it looks like there's going to be a few splits.
This is dangerous.
You wouldn't want to let these riders go.
No, you really, really don't. It was a huge group who came up towards the top of that climb together. And as they've gone over the top, well, it's getting dangerous because those splits are going to be really important in the latter stages.
So Bates from Snova, Fuhr, Holcroft, Bjarhed, Kuma, Hermansen, Eck, Van Shaw, and Soderstrom. There, your top 10 going over the top, picking up those points. A 9 watt per kilo kick coming from Lou Bates out on the road. Those gaps really have started to open up now. 11th to 20th position, McCarthy, Otto, Kasani, Guerra, Kocinski, Trudin, Melny, Pennant, Colgrove, and Ekstrom. Emma, take us through what this means.
Well, it means that we have different riders in the mix picking up points, as well as those riders who we saw ride really strongly in stage 1. We're back in with Lou Bates, and I'll tell you, early on at the start of this stage, she was right in the mix of the pack. She was sitting around 40th in the pack until we got to that climb, and then she just executed what she knows she can do. And Lou Bates, it worked really, really well for her, picking up maximum points. Now, Tanil Otto, the rider from South Africa, coming through in 12th place. Really good to see her. Starting to see Asulia Kasani come up onto the points score as well. She went over the top there in 13th place, just ahead of Guerra and Kolczynski and Tridin, all who had picked up points earlier on in stage 1. Tiffany Penner, Charlotte Colclough now coming onto the points leaderboard as well, the rider from GB, in 19th place over the top there. And Cornelia Engstrom rounding out the top 20. It was the Chinese rider Zhang who missed out, though, in 21st place, and Godby in 22nd. Merle Bruni and Amelia Velt from Germany missing out on points as well.
So as we come up onto this midway climb on lap number 2, we have a leading group of riders. It had gone down to as little as 4 at one stage. It's sort of reformed. It's reconstituted itself. It is now a bigger pack as they go up over the top. Milbruni doing the driving here with Bates, Fuhr, McCarthy, Bjarhed and Zhang on the wheels at the moment. It's a long train, though, as they go over the top. Will we see a split go here? Going to be interesting to see. Interesting to see Colclough moving up, a regular rider at the World Championships for Great Britain, a regular rider on events we've organised actually on Esports as well, and really, really interesting to see that she is moving well up through this group. That has got to surely be tactical.
Well, yes, and it is going to have to be tactical from now, because I can tell you with the overall points in front of me at the moment, there are 7 points separating 16th place from 26th place.
Ooh, ouch.
So that's so
tight.
close. Being on the right side of the break, absolutely crucial at the moment. And this is the break in front of us. And you can see more and more riders joining it. In fact, 2 Swedish riders just pushing onto the back of that group. And there is a third as more and more riders come onto the back of this leading group, really swelling its numbers.
So you can see a number of our Swedish riders, a massive contingent, as Emma said at the start of the show, the biggest representation in our women's semi-finals at the 2024 Cycling Esports World Championships. In this semi-final, Bjarhed Embring, Hermansen, Larson, Montgomery on your screens. Various different places to train. All those riders united by the blue with those gold bands again, and a very strong esports cycling nation.
Yes, very, very strong esports cycling nation. Van Shaw, Bjarhed, Snova in here as well. Eck and Tidholm, Otto, Bates, Bjarhed, all having made the group. Here we've got one rider just going off the front. Zhang, the Chinese rider, is in here. And it's Emma Belforth pushing on at the moment. Now, this is interesting. Belforth going off down the road at the moment. And 7.1 kilometres now into this second lap. Let's just remember, this is around 900 metres, 800 metres now from the finish lap at the end of lap 2.
So will Belforth be able to move that line ahead of the riders? Just getting a little bit of a march on everybody else. Stomping around a big gear here, 63. The cadence, the revs per minute. You can see she's out of the saddle here, really putting down those watts at the moment, pushing away into towards the climb. Will it be enough to keep it at the front as they go up and over the summit? I'm not sure that it will be. We're going to see. We've seen Emma Belforth races like the mountain bike eliminator, where you have to put in repeated efforts, very short, very hard efforts, time and time again. But I'm not sure it's paying off, as here comes the pack. Fua leading the group. Guerra glued to a wheel. Bates, McCarthy, Bruni, Holcroft. Everybody goes into the red. The chevrons appear as everybody digs in. This is an indicator that they're in their maximum, right up on the limit here. This is going to be really key.
Well, 200 metres now till the finish line of lap 2, and 2 more laps to go. Interestingly, Charlotte Colclough coming through as well in this group. Not picked up any points in stage 1, but looking like she's riding strongly in stage 2. But it's Lou Bates yet again who's pushing on the front here. She wants maximum points at the end of lap 2. Catherine Fua really starting to move now. Guerra in third. Holdcroft just in front of McCarthy, but it's Lou Bates yet again dominating this climbing here on the women's semi-final. Catherine Fua coming through in 2. Gabby Guerra coming through in 3. Maria Holdcroft, Soderstrom. Wow, they are all moving. Those points so important. The question for me now, will this lead group get smaller?
You would think it would, but there's no guarantees because of the way this course is designed. We saw it break and come back together again. Are we going to see this? This is lap 2. This is the points allocation on 2. And as you saw, it was Bates, Fua, Guerra, Holcroft, Soderstrom, McCarthy, Kolchinsky, Bruni, Kuma and Bjarhed on the way through. Really interesting to note, though, that we are seeing a few of those riders who maybe didn't score as many points as they wanted, people like Kolkov moving up through. There is a stage at which, when halfway through this race, plus stage 1, you're going to know, okay, I've started to have done enough. I'm not in as much danger. I maybe don't have to be leading this through at the very end. Would you want to gamble that, though?
Well, I'll tell you something. If you can add up your points and race the semi-finals at the same time, you're a better rider than I thought.
And although it's not difficult, a better mathematician than me. That's for sure, because it's guaranteed you're a better rider. Now you can see the riders are spread out here around the course. We're back in with Julia Walkenhurst at the moment. Lindsay Burgess just behind. Joanna Zimmerman just in front. This is a chance to move up through this race field. And this experience of racing a World Championships, it is a unique experience, isn't it? I mean, not many people get to race a World Championship ever in any discipline, but to do so in something that you've chosen to do so regularly, really, really important. And it's really key for our riders. They keep pushing to the end, because riders will struggle and some riders will go backwards.
Yeah, and you have to remember that some of the riders here were nominated by their national federations. Others have come to the semi-finals through the public open qualifiers. And those 3 public open qualifiers producing some fantastic racing and some really strong riders coming through to the semi-finals today.
And it's a great journey to have been on. I'm sure there's a lot of memories being created and lots more memories still to come. The women's semi-finals will be followed by the men's semi-finals, and then we will be taking those top riders who qualify, the 20 top riders, through to the finals in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. A live final to see just what our riders can produce when it comes down to grabbing the medals in that rainbow jersey.
Well, we are now through lap 2 of a 4-lap race. And whilst Godby, Nyquist, Reel and Schnova, some of the US riders in there as well on our screens, really interesting to take a little bit of a look back down the overall standings at the moment, because in 21st place, Cornelia Engstrom, Anna Svardström is in 22nd at the moment, tied on points. Jenny Eck, Emma Belforth, Kelsey Jade Van Shaw, Roberta Bassoni, Tilly Field, Dana Wagner are all in that zone at the moment where they could potentially qualify if they can pick up some points on these final 2 laps.
Well, they're going to need to keep pushing all the way in and through, because this group, leading group number 1, are going to be hoovering up the points at the moment as they come around the stage. If they can stay clear. Emma, any indication of how many riders we've got in there? Have you managed to catch how many?
9 riders in the leading group at the moment, but the chase group is not that far behind. You can just see them in the distance when you get a long shot. There they are, just behind the group, and a number of strong riders in the group. So 9 riders in the leading group. The chase group really strong because Kuma's in there, Van Shaw, Coinston and Godby. Colclough is all in there. Tidholm is there too. These riders are going to be picking up points. These are the riders now who will want these points to qualify. It's really interesting to see. Getting yourself up the front of the race in the first lap or 2, ensuring you can get into one of these breaks is key for tactics in this race.
And I think, and this is subject to confirmation, that we have 20 riders clear at the front of the race. So in theory, all the points are going to the riders in Group 1 and Group 2.
However, Taniel Otto from South Africa is only 1 second off of the back of the chase group. So the leading group of 9, the chase group of 11. Charlotte Colclough, who we can see on our screen at the moment, is in the chasing group of 11. But Otto, I think, will join that group, and then it will be 12, which will give us 21 riders in the leading 2 groups. 20 points on the line.
Which means somebody in that second group could be disappointed. Taniel Otto really pushing here. You can see tapping down a really nice rhythm here. The watts per kilo just changing a little bit with that change in terrain. We're going to come in to Warzar next time up the climb. Here you can just see at the moment Otto about to make contact here with the chasing group. This will bring the numbers up. The leaders already onto that climb, taking the left-hand turn in front. The gap between the 2 groups looks like it's come down a little, but this is the leading group. These are your race leaders. These are the riders looking to pick up the points. The chasing group come into sight behind. Leaders onto that right-hand turn. This is going to be critical. Time to get that power down. Guerra right up at the front, leading this through. Bates in 2, Furr in 3, McCarthy in 4, Soderstrom in 5, Korczynski in 6, Bruni in 7 at the moment. Are we going to see this group work a little bit more carefully to try not to split too many riders apart? Behind them, the groups are starting to come back together as well. Lots of people going to be in the mix if they're not careful.
This is the danger. This group needs to do enough to stay clear. They don't want to put all the effort into the end of lap 3. They've got lap 4 to go, and they've got double points on the line at the end of lap 4. But what they don't want is that chase group to catch, and it really is catching. Well, Lou Bates, Guerra, Fuhr, McCarthy are doing the business at the front of this race. Again, I'll tell you something. Can anybody match the climbing of Lou Bates at the moment? She's been absolutely dominant, but Gabby Guerra and Catherine Fuhr are doing a phenomenal job of picking up points to qualify. Mina Coinston looks like she's going to come through for 10th place at the front of Group 2. Bjarhed Van Shaw, Godby and Belforth. Colclough is there as well. But the gap now, take a look down the road. That leading group have disappeared.
And split. They've split into 2 groups, if not 3, because it looks to me like those gaps really have opened up going over the top. We saw our leading 3 riders go clear. We've got the chasing group behind. This is going to be key. Let's take a look at who scored the points. Bates, Guerra, Fuhr, as you saw, taking away the top 3.
Yes, they have indeed. So Bates, Guerra and Fua picking up the 20, 19 and 18. Mary Kate McCarthy, Kristen Kulczynski, Maria Holdcroft, Merle Bruni, Hale Zhang, Mika Soderstrom and Mina Koinstein rounding out the top 10 at the end of lap 3, picking up those points. But of course, our points went through to 20th position. Bjarhead, Godby, Van Shaw, Belforth, Colclough, Kuma, Engstrom, Tidholm, Eck and Penner rounding out the top 20 on lap 3. All of those riders picking up points to add to the points they already have.
And a quick reminder, it's double points at the end of lap number 4 when we reach that 16-kilometre marker. The race finish here on stage 2 of the UCI 2024 Cycling Esports World Championships powered by MyWhoosh. This run to the line is going to be absolutely critical. Lou Bates setting a marker down here, really stamping authority all over this race. Now, whilst we've got the race for qualification going on, we've also got a little bit of a mind game going on as well, where riders are putting down a performance saying, I am the best rider here on this course, because these courses are going to be used, these same 2 stages are going to be used in the finals. So going out and saying, come and have it.
Really?
Can you really beat me?
Because I'd want to be going the other way. I'd want to be doing enough to qualify, but then going, yeah, you didn't think I was good enough, did you? But boy, am I going to beat you in the final.
We will have to see. Really looking forward to those live finals. Who will be in there? How many of the French team will make it? Giovanni, Zeppin, we've got Lagrossa, Monnier and Prost in the Pain Cave in the room. It's very different places to ride here, different riding styles from our riders, different places out on the course. And I have to say, it's going to be really interesting to see what Melanie Giuseppe can do on this climb. She's in this group of riders trying to close down the gaps. Morna chasing her 29th position at the moment and really mixing it up with some of the real stars of esports, Trudy, Nevin and co.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm just taking a look at the current overall standings across the 2 stages with the points cumulative so far. And I can tell you it's going to be a real battle for those final few qualification places. Emma Belforth coming lying in 18th place with 25 points. Engstrom in 19th with 24. The same point score as Van Shaw. Penner with 23, the same score points as Tridin. Jenny Eck with 21, the same point score as Paul.
That takes us
it's
to
20, so close. 24th, 25th, Anna Svalstrom, only 1 point back.
So the
4
positions,
points separating.
That key rolling position, that 20 point, it's like a guillotine cutoff, isn't it? When that comes down at the end of this, dunk, that's it. If you're the wrong side of it, you are in real trouble. If you're in front of it, you're going to be into those finals. 20 riders going through lead group, right-hand side of your screens. It looks to me like it's reformed into a big group once again. There is that advantage to be able to sit in the draft. If you wanted to score big points, getting a bit of recovery now as we run into the finals is going to be key. 14.8k, nearly 15k. We're heading in towards that last kilometre.
Well, really interesting to see McCarthy, Holdcroft, Zhang, Guerra, Bates, Fua, all in the mix here. Really strong riding. And they've got Merle Bruni as well. So 8 riders in the group, 12 seconds clear of the chasers.
So 12 seconds clear at this stage should be enough for these riders to get in unless the wheels well and truly fall off on the way up the climb. We're going to see who takes this away. Can anybody beat Lou Bates, the rider who has crested the top of the climb time and time again, showing that she is on storming form at the moment? Will they all want to take away maximum points? How hard will they go? They must know that they should have done enough now, every one of the riders in this leading group now, to take themselves through to the finals, but they will want to take away those bragging rights at the top. Who needs this the most,
Well,
Emma?
I can tell you, just let me give you a little bit of information. Between 8th and 9th place, there's currently around 30-point gap. So the leading 8 are at the moment so clear away. I think this is about bragging rights now as to who takes double points on the line.
Well, this is the run into the line here. 400 metres to go here to our race finish. We're on the climb. An attack by Catherine Fu. Gabby Guerra answers it. Sits on a wheel at the moment. Guerra starts to wind this up as well. They've gone just clear of Mary Kate McCarthy. You can see the gap behind. This run will be critical. Fua at the end of the race. Double points at the top. Is this when she's chosen a moment?
Well, Catherine Fua pushing on. She's going to see the polka dot banners very soon, giving the end of the lap. Catherine Fua, this is the final lap. This is double points. That's the UCI banner. Catherine Fua is pushing. She's got 2 seconds on Maguire and McCarthy. Bruni further back with Holcroft, Zhang and Bates. Catherine Fua, she is going to take the win at the end of stage 2. She's going to take double points here at this semi-final competition.
So Catherine Fur going through in 1, Gabby Guerra going through in 2. Big chase behind.
It is indeed. And Guerra, McCarthy, Holdcroft, Bruni, all coming through and across the line. Phenomenal racing here on the semi-finals. This is stage 2, and these final points, when they are added together, going to be really instrumental.
So behind you saw Zhang go in over the line. Got big hoisted and chasing here. Got Ingstrom over. Bjarhead on the way into the line. Penner's kicking hard here. These points are going to be critical. Every single pedal stroke here in rolling around the top 20. The number of points available are coming down here. It's double points. These are last point scorers coming in. Remember, once they're outside of the top 20, those points will disappear. Hermansen is chasing Colclough to the line behind Van Hopper, Sony, Field, Embring, all trying to get to that line. They want to get over the finish. They know that those points have gone. This will be critical. Who has scored enough points coming through at the end of this stage? Stage 2 of 2 here on the semi-finals.
Well, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of that final lap. Fua, Guerra, McCarthy, Holdcroft, Bruni, Zhang, Bates, Belforth, Van Shaw, Kointsnen, Tidholm, Kulczynski, Engstrom, Bjarhead, Soderstrom, Penner, Otto, Godby, Wiseman and Eck were the 20 riders to pick up points on that final lap.
What a run for the line. That final lap so critical as they came in and through. Here is stage 2. This is the overall. Now, we have Lou Bates up at the top, 144 points, taking away the win from Catherine Fua, 2 points behind, so close at the top. McCarthy in 3, Bruni in 4, Guerra in 5, Holcroft in 6, Soderstrom in 7, Kulczynski in 8, and Zhang in 9. Top 10 rounded out by Mina Koinsonen. They're in and through.
They are indeed, and these, of course, are all 7 points scoring opportunities added together. This is our top 20 on the points leaderboard. These are the riders who are potentially going through, subject to verification, for the finals in Abu Dhabi. Marlene Bjarhead in 11th place, Jackie Godby in 12th, Emma Belforth in 13th, Kelsey Jade Van Shaw in 14th, Alexi Snova in 15th, Cornelia Engstrom in 16th, Pia Kuma in 17th, Joanna Tidholm in 18th, Emma Julie Dryhoven in 19th, and Lisa Hermansen in 20th place.
Those are your top 20 here today in the competition who should qualify. All these results are live and subject to the verification here on MyWhoosh. Fantastic racing by the riders here today. Brilliant to see that these results have come through. And the 20 riders there, Emma, I mean, we saw riders come through very, very close at the end. It came down literally to a point or two between 20th and 21st position. I think this is going to be really, really, really close, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And some of those strategies really paid off. Hermansen going out on stage 1 for that bottom of the climb points really put her in a strong position to start with. She then had to pick up a couple of points along the way, but she is lying in 20th place overall and should see a qualification through to the final. But her strategy was clear. Go hard lap 1 on both stages to pick up points. Lou Bates was just dominant absolutely on the climbing, but Catherine Fua closed the gap on the final lap, picking up double points on lap 4 of stage 2 to close that gap down. That is going to be a phenomenal battle. And I think McCarthy, Bruni, Guerra, Holdcroft, Soderstrom and Kulczynski, that top 8, you know, they rode so strongly in that leading group. He Zhang from China, she's a rider who I've been really impressed with recently. And Mina Koinsten, I know she's had a period of illness. That is a phenomenal ride. She should be really, really pleased with herself.
I mean, what a way to be coming back into form and coming back into shape. Mina Koinsten coming back inside the top 10 there. Top 8 riders over 100 points scored here today. And remember, of course, we've used 2 stages of the 3 in the finals here. Emma, when we go into the 11 to 20 marker here, we've still got a little bit of points difference. 59 for Bjarhed in 11th place, 34 for Hermansen in 20th position. But you look at 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, they're all in that 30-point marker, 4 points separating them. Very, very close indeed. Yeah. And if this is a portent for the finals, it's going to come down to really where those points are. Because, of course, we're taking the top 20 riders and doing this live, and that's going to be another level of tension, another level of anticipation, another level where these riders have got to get it nailed.
It's going to be absolutely brilliant.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing how our top 20 riders here do. Now, Lou Bates, congratulations to Lou Bates from Great Britain, taking away top spot here today. Nice to see the wave from Lou there, somebody who we've seen racing regularly. Number 1 spot. Let's see if we can get a thumbs up from Lou Bates. Is she aware that she's now put herself in maybe the favourite position, you know, taking away top spot? Did it all go to plan, Lou? That would be the question. We will soon find out, I'm sure. Don't forget you can follow Lou and all of our athletes on social media. Give them your support. We really love watching them race. They need your support. Make sure you support them.
Okay, I'm just going to put a call out to our riders who finished in 21st and 22nd position, because Tiffany Penner from Canada raced phenomenally well today to finish in 21st, and Amelia Velt from Germany finishes in 22nd position today. It was so close. Penner misses out by 1 point.
Well, we are going to have to see them come back. I'm sure we're going to see plenty more in the plenty more World Championships for them to compete in as well when we come back next year. Catherine Fua already relaying the news, feeding back, I'm sure, the racing and the tactics and how it raced out today here in the semi-finals. Good to see Catherine in action. A second place here today, a podium today. Can she repeat a podium position when we come into the finals? A really fast race for her as well. Great to see her smiling at the end of this. And it's great to see our riders after the race looking so happy. I'm sure there's going to be a few disappointed riders, but picking yourself back up again, that's all part of cycle sport. It doesn't matter what discipline you're in.
Well, I hate to say it, but there's always another race.
Yes, there is indeed. But the next race for these riders surely to focus on is going to be those World Championships. Let's see how our riders do that. Which of our riders is going to be on top spot? A real interesting battle between our top 2 riders there. Congratulations to everybody who has qualified. Amazing race action. Emma, you've got, if I just gave you 5 seconds to give me the takeaways from that race, what would you say? Sum it up in 5 seconds, can you?
I would say phenomenal racing, great tactics, and very different tactics played out well for riders.
I'm not going to disagree with that for once. That makes a change for me. And Emma, it's a pleasure to be putting words to the action here at the semi-finals. My name's Matt Payne. You can follow me at Matt Fixpayne. You can follow Emma at
Biking Emma.
So please do jump on board. Let us know what you're up to. Let us know where you're riding and what you are doing. Make sure you join us for the men's semi-finals. That will be coming up very shortly indeed. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you to our riders for keeping us entertained. Make sure you subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel and to the Twitch TV. It is MyWhoosh live on Twitch TV. Don't forget to follow MyWhoosh at MyWhoosh across social media. But from Emma and myself, we'll see you very shortly for the men's race. Goodbye.
Goodbye.